If everyone is fighting for the same small piece of a pie, nobody grows. Competition versus collaboration. Now, we need to compete in order to become stronger versions of ourselves. It is undeniable that competition does bring strength, but collaboration brings learning. From the Grind Up podcast, episode 2, season 2, competition versus collaboration. Now, what are the pros and the cons of competition? And what are the pros and the cons of collaboration? What is going to bring us to the furthest destination, or what is going to give us the biggest pie for us to eat from? Now, this is a great subject because, as I said, as children and generally in the news, in TV, in media, and human behavior, it teaches us to compete. We believe in a scarcity mindset as a human. We believe that somebody else, another person, is standing in our way and somebody else is going to take what belongs to us. Now, it's very easy to see yourself at a destination when you are in the competition mindset. So when your mind tells you to compete with another person, it's easy for your mind to show you what the final destination of beating or eliminating that other person is. However, collaboration takes a lot more intelligence, and collaboration means that you have to be able to communicate and you have to be able to say with another party, another person, another entity, this is what you want and this is what we want or I want, and this is how we are both going to meet our objectives. We're going to share our resources, we're going to share our network, and we're going to share our audience in order for us to create a bigger pie than one person can achieve on their own. Now, I have lost some huge opportunities in my life because I lacked maturity. And in my mind, I was taught from the place that I was from to eliminate people and to strictly compete. I saw strength in competition early on in business, and it probably took me almost 10 years to see the benefits of collaboration. Now, I'm going to speak about a person that I admire in the UK who has a very strong record of collaboration, and we've seen great things come from it. And I'm going to tell you about how I hindered myself from dismissing and trying to compete with one of the biggest tech providers probably in the world at the moment. And this is a true story. So I got a call from Backmarket. A lot of us in Europe, especially in England, it's very hard to ignore their strong marketing campaign, seeing posters everywhere, wherever you can name it, Backmarket's there, social media, everything, right? They phoned me when they first started up and they told me what they were going to do. They said, we are going to be one of the leading tech platforms and we're going to take a market share that we believe eBay doesn't have. And we need someone in the UK who can satisfy a lot of these customers when it comes to Apple, right? They generally started with Apple tech. That's how Backmarket started. And I got this call in, I believe it was 2017, if I can remember correctly. And they said, we've done our research, we've been looking online, we've been looking at your reviews, and Minko's Max is a company that we would love to partner with and have you on our platform as one of our first main sellers, satisfying the customers in the UK. My mindset when I spoke to them on the phone, and they called me more than once, my mindset was, I am going to compete with you. I do not want you to take any of my customers. I do not want you to take any of my market share. And I do not want to promote your business. And I do not want anyone to see your logo or your company or hear of your company when they come and shop with me. That was actually the words that I said to them. Because I was in this mindset of competition being stronger than collaboration. I didn't think collaboration was it. I didn't understand it, right? So straight away, I got all this arrogance on the phone, and now every single day when I speak to a customer, all I hear about now is what the price is on Back Market. They've taken and capitalized on this market share. They have a crazy valuation now of, I think, 5 to 6 billion euros, and they've done an amazing job. And now I'm a partner. So I denied working with Back Market for how many years? 5 to 6 years. I was in this bubble of ignorance and arrogance and saying to myself that they weren't a threat and that they didn't know what they were doing. And I believed that they couldn't control the quality checks. And now I'm a partner, and now I have a look at the processes, I have a look at the procedures, I see the scale of the business, I see the customer service aspect of things, I see the quality control. I now see that they've gotten all of this right, and they have blown me out of the water in my own country. Now, if I collaborated with Back Market early on, I might have been able to negotiate somewhat a stronger position, maybe a few years down the line. And some of the companies that I collaborate with now, and they show me some of their Back Market receipts, some of them over December, one of them done over 600, 700,000 pound turnover that month alone, just in December, right? So this is the power of collaboration. Now, the person that I think has done this excellently over so many different levels of their life, right? And so many different ways of reinventing themselves, coming from the ground. This is the Ground Up podcast. This person that's done this, coming from the ground, is Skepta. Now, when we have a look at the collaborations that we have seen Skepta do from 2007 going all the way up to 2026 as a brand, as a solo brand, this is massive. I remember when we would do grime music, underground grime music. Nobody at the time knew it was going to be as big as it is now, right? So we're talking about tiny amounts of money for shows. £100, £200. You might not even have got paid. You might have gone to do the show just to promote yourself. So back in the day, even before 2007, I'm talking 2004, 2005. I remember going to do shows and Skepta calling ahead to collaborate with local artists to make sure that everything would go smoothly. This is some of the best emotional intelligence that you could get at every level. And every year, this grew. Collaboration with Levi's, collaboration with Diesel, collaboration with US artists, battle with US artists, just to bring more attention to the culture. Collaboration with Nike, collaboration with festivals, Big Smoke Festival, O2. When you look at all of these things, Skepta, JME, and I believe they've got another sibling that does art and a sister. Like these are like the pioneers of urban collaboration, like especially going from the music to the street, from the ground level all the way up to corporate. Like you can't knock it. And this is something that I just didn't understand and I just didn't get, in the beginning of business. And I had a lot of ignorance to it. And I think that when we look at particular countries, especially a lot of Scandinavian countries, Norway, Sweden, Finland, a lot of these countries are taught how to survive via collaboration. And it might even be based upon the weather factor, or it might be based upon the way that the economics works. And this benefits communities. This is how, for a lot of the time, for businesses, when they're able to widen their net and they're able to share their network, share resources, create a bigger pie, and then split the profits from that. we see a lot of that in terms of venture capital firms, large contracts, community projects. None of this cannot be done without collaboration, being able to share knowledge with each other. Two big entities which has its own past experiences and its own processes coming together and making everybody in this will learn. You can't knock it, and it's taken me a long time to see the benefits of it. So together we can reach places that individuals cannot. Now, I'd like some of your output. What businesses do you think should partner with each other? Drop it in the comment. And what objectives can be met if these businesses are partnering with each other? Will the world become a better place? We see this in medicine, research, all type of aspects of our everyday living, where we as humans have to somewhat become selfless and collaborate for the greater good. And I think when we see cities of today, this is how this has happened, right? So competition will always exist, but collaboration leads to communities growing faster. From the Ground Up podcast, like, follow, comment, subscribe, and share. I hope we've found today's day interesting, and keep following for more conversations of depth and more conversations of substance. Peace out. Together we'll build stronger communities.